Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we actually have my very first motorcycle review. We're going to be reviewing this 2001 Harley Davidson Sportster 883. Alright guys, so this motorcycle is a 2001 Harley Davidson Sportster 883, and it's pretty much a very comfortable cruising bike, and it also has a decent amount of potential for customization. Alright, so I know this is actually my first motorcycle review, so this video might flow pretty differently than all of my other reviews that I've done on the channel. So actually I don't have my motorcycle license, at least yet. So I might possibly get one in the future, but for now I can't actually take this thing for a drive like we normally do with vehicles on these reviews. Alright, so that being said, this video is basically just going to consist of really in-depth walk around, and I'm going to try to include a decent amount more information than I normally do, and I'm probably just going to give my opinion of this bike at the end and what I think about it. So this is definitely going to flow a little bit differently from my normal videos, but definitely stick till the end, and if I do a good job, definitely let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what else I can improve upon in the future. Alright, so without further ado, we will be jumping right in to the specs of this 2001 Harley Davidson Sportster 883. Alright, so this bike is a 883, but it actually does have the 1200 conversion kit that you can put on these. So just taking a look around, I'm sure all of you Harley fans can almost immediately spot this, but I did also just want to mention it, and I'm going to be just going through a few things that differentiate a true 1200 Sportster and an 883 with the 1200 kit on it. Alright, so basically one way to tell that it is not a true 1200 is actually just looking at the cooling fins on the engine where the head meets the cylinder. If they have the exact same paint and look like they both have the same amount of years on them, it may still be an 883. Now if the cylinders look newer and the paint is a bit different, it might have the kit installed on it. Alright, so that being said, this I'm going to get more into this actual specific bike's engine in a bit, but I did just want to go over some body measurements really quick. So this bike actually has a curb weight of just under 520 pounds, right at 518.1 pounds from factory. Now taking a look at this seat here, it actually comes from factory, adjustable, and has a height of 28 inches. So this bike actually also has a wheelbase of 59.4 inches and a 3.3 gallon or 12.5 liter fuel tank. Also, this bike has actually a front wheel travel of 6.9 inches and a rear wheel travel of 3.6 inches, and it actually has single disc 11.5 inch brakes on the front and the rear. And one more thing about the brakes, they actually just have single piston calipers on the front and the rear, and the owner actually really does not like how they brake, so he actually might change them out for new brakes in the future, or he actually might upgrade the brakes depending upon what he wants. Alright, so now to actually move on to the engine of this bike. Now this specific engine, yes, it's an 883, but it does have the 1200 engine on it. like I said before. But basically this engine is it's a 1200 cc 2-valve per cylinder carbureted air-cooled V2 4-stroke engine, and the only difference is that it's basically just a little bit larger, like it's been a little bit larger displacement than the 883. The 883 engine's basically the same exact thing, except it's 883 cc's, and it's exactly the same thing. It's 2-valve per cylinder carbureted air-cooled V2 4-stroke engine. All right, so now that you guys know that, basically the major difference between the 1200 engine and the 883 engine is literally just the fact that the 1200 has, slightly bigger displacement. They actually both deliver their power through the same 5-speed transmission, except this specific bike actually has the gears from the 883, I believe, or whichever one's more steeper. It has the steeper gears in it. So I'm sure it's great cruising at highway speeds, but with the bigger engine and the steeper gears, it actually does accelerate pretty good. All right, so like I just said, this thing definitely does accelerate pretty good. It actually accelerates probably even faster than the stock numbers that I'm about to mention because of the bigger engine as well as paired with the steeper gears. But basically from factory, the 883s, not the 1200s now, the 883s, basically had a 0 to 60 of right above 5 seconds, and the 1200s had a hypothetical 0 to 60 like even with 5 seconds. All right, so going off of that, this bike's top speed is actually right at a 105 miles per hour, and I know that the specs for the 883 engine is that it produces from factory 53 brake horsepower at 6,000 RPMs and 49.4 foot-pounds of torque at 4,400 RPMs. Now for the 1200 engine that this bike actually has in it, basically the 1200 engine from factory produces 58 brake horsepower at 5,200 RPMs and 64.2 foot-pounds of torque at 3,900 RPMs. So the power is definitely slightly increased, but again, paired with the steeper gears, this thing definitely does accelerate a lot faster than a normal 883. All right, so all in all, my personal opinion about this bike, I really like it. I think it looks fantastic. As you can see, the paint is like a mirror on it, really, and all the chrome is in decent condition as well. Now, I believe this specific bike is like at 20 something thousand miles. I think like 25,000 miles. So it is, I guess, relatively low. I know that bikes normally are lower than that, but honestly, I think it's pretty reliable. When I was doing my research on it, I didn't really find anything that stuck out too negative for it. Now, as you guys can tell, this owner actually doesn't have a speedo or like a tack or anything like on here. He just bought it this way, and he does kind of daily drive it, and it does kind of work out for him. He also has a shield on here, or he does have a shield that he wants to figure out how to put on there, and I'll actually just show you guys it right now because it does look really cool with it on. All right, guys, so here's actually the shield that is going to go on it once he figures out how to put it on there, and I think honestly it should look really good. But yeah, besides that, I do think that this is a very nice bike to drive. It is a little bit heavier compared to some starter bikes, I guess you can say. But as you can tell, like the leather on the seat is in really good condition. The trim's really good and the paint's really good. And so far the owner hasn't had any, mechanical problems or anything like that. So honestly, it should be really fun to drive. Now, since I can't do any driving clips or anything like that, like I said before, we're basically just going to do a short startup clip because the exhaust sounds really good. As you guys can see, it's just wrapped and it's basically straight out of the engine. So it does sound loud, it does sound really good. So we're going to get an exhaust clip in it, and then we're basically going to just do a short flyby. But if you watch to the end of this video, definitely be sure to hit the like button. Down in the comments below, tell me what I did good, tell me what I did wrong. You're not going to offend me, Only constructive criticism can really make me do better videos and better reviews for you guys. And if you like my channel, if you like what I'm, making, you like my videos, definitely be sure to subscribe. But until the next one, see you guys.